Hello, everyone, and welcome to another horrific review. Steve and I are back as we continue our look at the Hammer Horror series of films with The Gorgon, directed by Terence Fisher. In the early 20th century, a Gorgon takes human form and terrorizes a small European village by turning its citizens to stone. This movie was made on a budget of $150,000 and unfortunately no box office information. Steve, welcome back. Here we go again.
Yeah. Good to be here.
The dream team is back. Terence Fisher, Peter Cushing, and Christopher Lee.
Yeah. You can tell, can't you? It opens
massively.
with that hammer horror music that gives you the impression like it goes back to the old original Dracula music
it's like we're back.
As soon as that come up, I thought, yeah. I mean, I've seen the Gorgon several times before, but it's just you pick up on things when each time that and when you can do that, it's a good movie because there's so much in it. But as soon as that music come in, I thought, yeah.
You can tell from the ones we've watched that they're completely departed.
Yeah.
When they've brought in different directors and this was by Columbia Pictures, so it wasn't Universal.
No.
I think we need to go through these and see what studio distributed them because I think that's an influence on the movie.
Yeah.
That's something we'll have to do when we eventually get to the end of this series. Is go through them and see are the ones distributed by Columbia more true to form than the Universal ones, or what's happening? Because we've seen when the Strange Studios distribute something that's a Hammer horror, it just goes off the rail, and it's not not even remotely recognizable as a franchise.
I wonder why they changed, because they're going to and fro, aren't they? It's strange.
It seems to be to get a different deal for different movies. Like, it seems to be the pitch each movie. They don't have a long-standing agreement.
There's a distributors, aren't they? That's all they are. It's
well, obviously Hammer Films, Hammer Productions, they make the movies.
Yeah.
But it's the likes of Columbia, Universal, Paramount do the distribution because Paramount's distributed them as well. And then we've had a couple of strange little companies for some of those odd ones have distributed.
Yeah. But I mean, it's not only like in this one the Peter Cushing and Christopher Lee. You've also got Patrick Troughton, who's a classic actor. He was the second ever Doctor Who. So he shares something in common with Peter Cushing because Peter Cushing was Doctor Who in the movies.
That's right.
Yeah.
Many movies that Peter Cushing he did two. Didn't Peter Cushing do a couple of? He didn't just do the one. He did a couple, didn't he?
Two, wasn't it? Is it two or three, something like that?
2 or 3. He did a couple.
Yeah, it's Doctor Who and the Daleks, I think it was.
Yeah. And then there was like Return of the Daleks or something,
Yeah. I didn't really like the films, but it's. And they obviously thought
I'm not a massive Doctor Who fan anyway, and it's fell off a cliff any roads.
No. And Patrick Troughton, like I said, was the second Doctor Who. And of course they were brought back for the Doctor's ones, wasn't it? He where they got the 5 Doctors all together.
There was a few of those episodes.
You're not a Doctor fan.
No, but I have seen some of the ones, but I didn't really.
I'm just looking now to see how many Doctor Who films it was. It was Daleks Invasion Earth 2150 AD. Doctor Who and the Daleks. I think that was it. I think that was it. So it was 2. Yeah. But Patrick Troughton, like I said, he was the second Doctor Who. He was also in the Phantom of the Opera. Do you remember the rat catcher?
Yes.
Yeah, he was the rat catcher in that one.
He's short but sweet.
Yeah.
Like that character didn't deserve what he got. He did nothing wrong.
No, I know. He got knocked off.
That movie.
And then you got Barbara Shelley, who's she's in a couple of things. I think she's in Scars of Dracula, which is an upcoming one that we've got to review. and she was also in one of the Quatermass ones. And she was in one of the Doctor Who episodes, Barbara Shelley. So yeah, it's quite a cast. But I tried everything to find terrible mistakes on this one, even down as far I was checking the German, because there was German on the in Peter Cushing's laboratory. There was German writing on the back. And I thought, what's that say? Is it real German? And I don't recognize the word, and it does. It means private.
Did you notice they dodged around what the province of the country was? I like that. They dodged around.
Right, yeah.
They made it an unknown, so it wasn't Austria, it wasn't anything. You know, it was like a provincial town or place, and they just kept it vague that it was close to Germany. That, you know, a lot of Germans came back and forth.
The only thing that gave it away for Germany really was the Coppers helmets. I recognised the old Coppers helmets, and I thought that it's German. It's something, a really old film that I saw. But I also looked at a thing, because you don't actually know which era it's set in to start with. They don't actually tell you. And I was thinking there are 3 German Shepherd dogs come in one of the scenes, and I thought, if this is set pre-1899, it's wrong, because
it was 1903 or something like that, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's right. German Shepherds weren't introduced in Germany until 1882. They started breeding them, but officially they were recognised as a dog in 1899. But yeah, it sort of went up from 1903, didn't it? So damn.
Did you notice the recycling of the scene from The Evil of Frankenstein?
Which scene?
It was the same shot. It was the same sawmill, like the opening scene. You've got the pathway. You've got the same sawmill. It's exactly the same shot for shot, because I went back and looked at it.
Didn't know that.
Yeah, it's exactly the same. I went back and checked and put them side by side. I should have taken a screenshot, but yeah, it's the same sawmill. It's the same painting, and it's the same path. So they've just taken that shot and put it in here. I'm like, oh, you cheapskates. That's like something I would do.
I see Peter Cushing's fighting hasn't gone any better, is it?
Did he get a stunt double for the sword work?
He did, yeah.
I think he got a stunt double.
It was
a lot of camera panning.
He was a lot sort of younger looking and fitter. But also there was a couple of scenes where different people's moustaches disappeared. Because they had these curl up moustaches, didn't they? The old fashioned. But no, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I thought, great, it's back. Gorgon, but I mean, for its time, you think the special effects were quite well done, weren't they? They all.
I like the action effects.
The old Medusa
Not
style.
Towards the end.
Snakes,
she looked better from a distance.
Oh, well, when her head was chopped off.
Oh god, that was
the common paint on the blood on the neck
and the melting wax.
Yeah,
and the horrible looking snakes. Yeah, she looked better when she was from a distance. Close up.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll start off with Bruno, who's bit of a player, plays about the field.
Yeah.
So he's an artist.
Yeah. So he was putting off the marriage a bit when he was. I think he was, until she actually said I'm pregnant. He was thinking, oh well, I've got to earn some money I've got to get some money together. I just want to draw you. I don't want to marry you. And then suddenly she says I'm pregnant. And he goes, oh damn.
Well, he didn't do that by just drawing. You know what I mean?
But no,
it wasn't just drawings made that happen.
Back in those days, it was frowned upon, wasn't it, if you had a child and weren't married? But
oh yeah,
but he didn't actually say.
Then again, that makes sense.
He didn't actually say, "Oh, darling, I love you," did he? He went, oh, "I've got to go for my obligations." So she was an obligation, if anything. A shock on her face said it all, didn't it? It's like,
yeah, all of a sudden it became like, no, I have to do this. It's not even about you anymore, sort of thing. And yeah, but that was the way it was. And I don't know. When you see the number of single parents now and you see broken home kids, I went to school, like, I was in a minority because both my parents were still together and married.
yeah.
Everyone else, like 90% of the kids in the class were from broken homes.
Yeah.
And you can tell it's not good.
No,
it's not. It's not good.
When I worked for Royal Mail, one of my mate Gary, one of his favourite chat lines when he saw a girl was, "Hi, are you a single mum?" And she said, "No." He goes, "Do you want to be?"
Wasn't it Cannon Ball, Bobby Ball used that one?
I don't know.
He did at the stage, he's like, I'm having a special for single mothers or young mothers. If anyone fancies becoming a young mother, I'll see you at the back. You'd never get away with that today.
Oh, you wouldn't.
Burning torches and pitchforks today. The misogyny.
Yeah.
No, but
so,
that was
Bruno, he gets knocked off, doesn't he? Do you reckon he actually hung himself, or someone hung him, or I don't know?
I don't know. So
they
basically,
don't actually
he goes to storm up to the father's house to basically state his intentions. I'm going to marry your daughter. Have shotgun wedding, basically.
Yeah.
En route, she chases after him. She obviously sees the Gorgon, and we'll get to that because I don't understand why they didn't do proper lore. Like, there's no reason for them doing what they did. She sees the Gorgon, obviously, and then he disappears. And sure enough, the village is like, oh, right, we gotta get this all wrapped up and nice and neat and tidy. We get introduced then to Peter Cushing's character. And what is this? A mortuary / asylum? Or was that the norm?
I don't know, because he put that girl in a blinging straitjacket, didn't he? Because she was coming down.
So they've got like the asylum upstairs and the mortuary downstairs.
Yeah.
It's almost like a shopping center, medical shopping center, just one size fits all.
Yeah. And he had all the chemicals around. And then, of course, when he took out the brain as well, he dumped that in a bloody jar.
He's getting very good at that.
Yeah. But it's nice to see him play a bad part as well, because he wasn't the crystal clear nice guy.
Oh, he wasn't a hero. No.
Yeah.
But this is meant to be a small provincial town, yes?
Yeah. So why would you have
it has a bloody grip bag. Yeah, it has a massive insane asylum plus mortuary. Like, not even a small mortuary. Like, you would expect in something like that to be a hut or something, but no, this is a proper lavish that in the city would be themed luxurious research center as well by the looks of things.
Yeah. Because how many? I don't think there was a big cast in it, was there? I think
there was quite a few extras for the villagers stuff, but it stuck around with like 5 or 6 PM people.
Yeah, there weren't many actors in it at all. So the village must have been extra small. But the other thing you got to ask yourself is, and it's a bit like the Dracula films, is if there's a monster in the village, why stay there? It's like Dracula, isn't it? If there's a vampire who's coming around,
Lipstag's just up the road.
Why stay in the bloody village?
Let's move to the big city with walls and gates.
Yeah,
solve that problem.
Yeah, but
there is you can't help but pick holes at it because once again, it's just the style of writing. I think of the time, nobody worried about facts. Or nobody worried about nerds checking up every detail. Like the coroner session was like a court.
Yeah.
Like, since when did the coroner become a judge?
Yeah. Yeah, because yeah. Well, not even in Germany would that happen, would it?
Yeah, it was very strange. This is where I don't think it costs much, especially when you've got a whole production team and you've got researchers and everything else. And these are supposed to be the clever people that make movies. And it's got work. It's obviously completely off the rails today, but just procedures. Have the procedures correct. You can still act it out, but just have it a better reality that you can sort of grip. Because when you look at this stuff, it is like the village idiots just going, right, we're brushing this on the carpet like a kangaroo court sort of thing. But
Yeah,
it doesn't make sense. You would think, being a provincial town, Peter Cushing's character, Dr. What's his face, would be the coroner. And he would put the
Namaroff,
report in the Leipzig. Hmm?
Dr. Namaroff or something.
No, yeah. But you think he
Namaroff.
would be the one doing the report and send it off to the city,
Yeah,
and they would only come if they thought it was suspicious. But the fact is, he's got a chief coroner on top of him in a tiny village.
yeah, yeah. And they're all on the court.
Yeah, giving evidence as if it's a trial.
Yeah. And it don't last very long. It's like, yeah, he done it. Yeah. And the guy says, doesn't he? The Bruno's father, he says, I know what you're gonna say. Yeah, she was murdered and he hung himself, and what does he say? Right, murdered, dead. Suicide.
Done. Yeah. We had that scene where she was brought into the mortuary, to show that she turned to stone and the plaster.
The finger.
You don't get turned into stone, you get turned into plaster of Paris.
Yeah. Yeah.
Remember you used to get them molds as a kid?
Stone,
I used to have a Paddington Bear one.
If it was stone, the arm wouldn't have dropped off the side of the trolley.
No, it'd just been rigid.
Still, yeah. But, you say about that. Do you remember when the scene where Bruno's father, what was he called, Professor or something or other, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was a professor.
Professor Heights. When he sees the Gorgon and he's turning into stone, but on his jacket was all the paint from what he had on his face. If you notice on his jacket, on his lapels, there was like the grey paint type of stuff that showed that it was, what was on his face obviously was just paint, like. But yeah.
But it was a good coloration. It was well done.
Oh, it was stone color, wasn't it? It's definitely.
Yeah. It was actually better than the statue.
Yeah.
I mean, the statue just looked as if it was somebody just got a glove, marigold, and poured plaster of Paris into it.
Yeah.
Or is it plaster of Paris? What's the stuff that?
Yeah.
I used to make the molds as a kid. It is plaster of Paris.
Plaster of Paris.
Yeah, you mix it up and then it's really you add the bandages.
That's what they used to make.
Yeah.
Stuff off to mend a broken arm.
The cast. Yeah, but they obviously use the bandages as well, and that looked awful, but him actually transforming looked better.
Yeah. But, it's quite a. And the story went together well. It wasn't, it wasn't mixed up like some we've seen before. And the continuity in it was brilliant, and it was fast paced.
Well, I have a few things to say about that. So the Gorgon sisters were Pheno, Uriel, and Medusa.
Yeah.
Medusa was the only one that was killed. Pheno and Uriel chased after Perseus. And it was actually their lamenting song, which I think gave inspiration for the flute to be created.
Yeah.
With their sisters. They were never caught. They were immortal. Medusa was mortal. Megara was a fury. She was the hammer of justice. She judged people. She was a fury. So where they got Megara and these are supposed to be clever people, middle class, what. nice little North Londoners who
Yeah,
all are better than me. Yet
yeah.
I'm a thick working class Northern hick, and yet I know that.
Yeah.
And I started looking up because I'm like, that's not right. That doesn't make sense. McGarra wasn't one of the sisters.
Yeah. Hmm.
Greek mythology is brutal if you've ever got into it.
Yeah, no, I've never.
So basically, the story is Medusa was assaulted by Apollo. I think it was Apollo.
Yeah.
And Athena blamed Medusa for it happening. So she turned her into Gorgon. And because her sisters stood with her, she turned them in too because she blamed Medusa for Apollo's transgressions. The Greeks were like Greek mythology, the pentathlon
Yeah.
and the Greek gods are horrible. They're horrible beings. There's not a nice one amongst them. If they're not shagging each other, they're killing each other and being jealous of each other. And it just happens that mortals get mixed in.
Yeah.
And the amount of incest that goes on.
Bit like Cornwall then.
Pretty much. Well, Cornwall is Celtic for cousin's wedding.
Yeah. So what do they call marriage guidance counselling in Cornwall? Relate.
Oh God.
I'll get in trouble for that one.
Yeah, so I was just scratching my head and I had to actually stop and go start looking things up again because I'm like, this isn't right. And why are they getting it wrong? There was no reason for the Gorgon to be Megara. It could have been Thano or Uriel. Why didn't they do that?
Yeah.
It's Greek mythology. It's not as if they're going to get copyright struck.
They could have looked it up on Google.
Have it one of the There was libraries. These are the smart people. You know what I mean? These are the people that went to the right schools and came from the right families. That were classically trained and better than us. Yet they can't get that right.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
I
don't understand.
People probably didn't realise back then.
Yeah, but why would they get it wrong? Why didn't somebody just go to the library, one of the assistants? Go to the reference section, there's loads of stuff.
Encyclopedia Britannica or something like that.
God, sure, that was brilliant. I used to have those.
Yeah, the big.
I think every household had one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Much better.
And really, when you got a full year's.
Isn't it? Much better than the
internet. Easy to look up. Yeah. Well, I used to love going to the library.
Yeah.
And you went to look, you got your wee notebook and you look things up, and sure enough, like it was not hard. I just don't understand how they got that so wrong, the whole background. And that would have been a cool story to tell.
Yeah.
So,
but
the fact that Perseus was mortal, and took out their sister, the fact they're still lamenting, well, guess what? Thano and Uriel, one of them, they got separated and have decided that they hate humankind. There you go. There's. I just didn't want them to. Bringing Megara into it just doesn't make sense.
They should have got Ray Harryhausen to do the special effects with the snakes coming out.
Oh yeah, they were.
That would have been good. It's Ray Harryhausen.
When did Jason and the Argonauts? When did Jason and the Argonauts come out? That was the 50s, wasn't it?
It was a 50s.
1963.
It was
1963.
What was the name of the actor in it? He was the son of someone. The one who played Jason.
Honor Blackman was that?
Who played Jason?
Todd Armstrong. Todd Armstrong.
Yeah.
Honor Blackman played Hera.
Yeah.
She was great back in the day.
Another film. But no, I mean, again, for his time, Ray Harryhausen was just the king of special effects, wasn't he? He was,
well, that's come out the same year.
They should have got him, shouldn't they?
Yeah, well, that still holds up. If you look at his Medusa, and that skeleton scene with the
he called it stop motion, didn't he? That's what he called it, and it used to take him
you just move
ages to do each film thing like this. He used to move it, go, move it, go. Yeah.
So there's a movie came out a couple of years ago, Mad God. I don't know if you've seen that. Phil Tippett.
No.
It took him 30 years to make that.
Mad.
Stop motion. It was stop motion.
Yeah.
If I had a suitable garage or workspace, that would be a project I'd start. But basically you have to just be able to leave it alone and never get moved or touched.
Yeah, and then go back the next day and do a bit more. Because that's how they used to make Wallace and Gromit, wasn't it? The Wallace and Gromits used to be more or less stop motion. They used to move a leg, move another leg, and then they spoiled it by putting it on digital cartoon, more or less, wasn't it? But
but then that's when they ruined it, because that was the magic of the Wallace and Gromit series, wasn't it?
Yeah.
There's a new one coming out, The Curse of the Were something. It's not Were Rabbit, because that's already been done. There's another one coming out next year.
Right. Yeah.
But part of the appeal is the old school effects. They didn't bother with that. I think they relied on the character acting for this.
Yeah. Yeah, I think whoever did the script for this was spot on, and it concentrated on the actors, thinking, hey, we got to give Peter Cushing some good script here, and Christopher Lee. Christopher Lee was missing for the sort of first bit of it, wasn't he?
It was like they were dodging around each other.
Yeah.
It was like they were building up to the meeting, weren't they?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, we meet at last, sort of thing.
Yeah. But then that guy threw a knife at the brother, didn't he? What was the brother called again? Not Jules.
Oh, that was
Paul.
Was it Paul?
Yeah. Terrible shot, wasn't it? I mean, he was that close. He should have been, shouldn't he?
Hey, Remy.
Remy,
I think Remy's talking to you.
Sexy bald man.
Yep, talking to him.
Is that me? Or you?
That's you, yeah. Not you. That's why I keep bringing the pretty faces on here to try and keep the channel going.
Yeah.
I like the continuity. So the way they managed to bring the other characters in, because it's been so ham-fisted in a lot of other things, where they actually had. So we had.
They were brought in at the right
Bruno.
time, weren't they? So, like the son, Bruno killed,
had the mishap.
So his father turned up to take control of the situation, and then
and find out what happened to his son.
His father gets turned to stone, so his other son turns up. So yeah, it was done very well, and like I said, Christopher Lee wasn't rushed into it. He came to see why Paul hadn't been in contact, didn't he? And he went, "Where you been?" sort of thing. And
they let him. That's what I like about Peter Cushing and Christopher Lee. They are prepared to step back. Where if you look at, I think it's the 80s, like your Tom Cruises and Sylvester Stallones cannot step back for a minute to let another actor take a spotlight. No. They just can't do it.
No, they've got
guilty. Most of them are like
they got the "I'm the star" syndrome, haven't they? So
yeah,
I'm the star. You're
just Christopher Lee wasn't. He wasn't trying to be the big star. He was playing a character that had a certain role. If that makes sense.
Well, one thing I did laugh at was Christopher Lee when he was stood beside the sun. Christopher Lee is super tall, isn't he? And the sun was down there. It was like Christopher Lee was up there, and Paul was down there, sort of thing. He looked. I thought, oh bloody hell! He tell his height from there because he must be 6 foot something. Is he, Chrisley? Was he?
He's a big fellow. He's imposing character. But yeah, he's basically playing the professor, and I thought he was only going to be a bit part in this because I've seen this obviously, but I haven't seen it for a while, and I was going, hold on a minute, no, he's in this, and it was almost like he was just in to go, bye bye, you know.
Yeah, to kill him off at the end.
Yeah. But I just like the way he's in Professor. So he's waving off. So there you go. We'll have the link between how they all get there. And yeah, Paul tries to investigate. This is more about the village as opposed to the Gorgon.
Yeah.
This is like the sort of horror story of it's not the creature themselves, it's the effect the creature has.
Because you don't really see an awful lot of the creature. Not as much as you'd think there was. Because they said there's a monster coming out, and the opening speech says about the monster, and yeah,
but it's more about the effects of the monster, and that's usually where you get the good storytelling. So you're seeing this small village. They've decided to keep this secret for some reason. Like, I don't know, if there was a monster picking off my people and couldn't deal with it, like, can we have the army, please? Can we have the artillery? Apparently it hides out in that castle and there's nobody in there. Could you just start pointing the cannons that way, please?
See, what I remember when I first saw this. When I first saw this film, I remember I would have thought that the way to get rid of the Gorgon would be to hold up a mirror and let her look at herself. And there is a film, and I can't remember for the life of me, that they actually did that, where people were actually affected by someone looking at them, and the person actually held up a mirror and destroyed the. And what film was that? I can't remember. It'd be one of those like from Beyond the Grave, where I remember later and. Yeah.
Yeah, it was didn't they have one of the what was it, them Percy Jackson movies that come out? Where he's using a mobile phone. Not Michelle Pfeiffer playing the Medusa in that one?
I don't know, I never saw it.
Remember seeing the trailer?
Yeah. Yeah. I have no idea. Who's this Remy Wildaway anyway?
I think they're trying to sell something.
Yeah, he wants to design something.
I think it popped on before. Yeah. Sorry, no. Got what I need. Thanks anyway.
Yeah. Rubbish.
Yeah, but the mobs scenes, they're basically trying to put the family out now because they don't want them there to investigate. You can see that happening with sort of small villages.
Yeah. They know what's happening, don't they? And they want to keep it a total secret, really, in the village.
Yeah, that's very. Like I said, it's a very strange attitude when they haven't done it. It's not them doing it. It's something external.
Yeah.
Coming in, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
If it was a deep dark secret.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, if it was a.
Yeah. Yeah, but that was quite strange. But like I said, it got to the part where the professor was turning to stone. He wrote the note, didn't he? Again, it was really
that was
good.
Cool.
Really good note, wasn't it? All calligraphied properly, and in
the splot at the end.
Yeah, I'm dead now.
Right to the last sentence.
Yeah. But you got a question. How did he manage to write 4 pages?
And why didn't he get his? Why didn't he just dictate it?
But did you see that bit? He calls his servant in, didn't he? He goes, more or less, I'm dying, and the servant more or less goes, okay, I'm gone. Turns around and goes back.
Yeah, I just casually walks up.
Yeah. I suppose you always get one funny.
Yeah, it gets all sorts.
One funny bit in it, don't you? Let's have a drink. Oh. Yeah.
God, I hate Twitch.
Where's Chris tonight, anyway?
I don't know. I haven't. Hang on, I'm dealing with our.
Remy Wild's away.
Yeah, sorry, I'm over on Twitch. I hate Twitch. I'm actually.
Here's Chris. A Gorgon remake with.
Oh, he made it.
Have you been outside lately? Everybody in the world is getting stoned. Oh God.
Oh. Wah wah wah.
He's nicking my jokes, isn't he?
It's a cheesy joke off.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like the. It was an interesting play, not just to have the monster go around and knocking people off every scene, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, there's only really three deaths in it.
Yeah, because the sun, wasn't it? The sun saw the reflection in
Bruno.
The water. No, the other son, Paul. He saw the reflection.
Oh, Paul, yeah, he saw the reflection in the water.
And that bit was handled really well because he didn't actually see her face to face. He was only made ill, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
I want you here.
Makeup for that.
I want you here, Chris. You can be here. I don't mind.
He just doesn't like the competition.
Just shut up. I'm the Joker. Chris, 2 tips for Christmas. Forget the past because you can't change it. Forget the present because I haven't got you one for Christmas. Yeah.
That didn't work. There we go. That's better. Yeah. Yeah, so Paul
is Chris married?
Carla?
Are you married, Chris?
He is.
He is.
Okay,
Did you know, Chris, marriage has a ring to it? Marriage has a ring to it, Chris. It's engagement ring, wedding ring, and suffering.
God. If anybody ever asks me for relationship advice, I always go, right, see everything I've done? Don't do that. You'll be fine.
Yeah.
Like, I'm making the mistakes that I always said to my own. I always make mistakes so you don't have to. So watch me and don't do any of that and you'll be all right.
When me and the missus divorced, I just said the only reason I married you was for tax purposes.
It's well better than doing duty as in this one because they're really showing the sort of old worldly how small villages act and so forth, and then it's almost like the big city coming into the world and imposing on them, and it's just that instant reaction of we don't want you here, we'll deal with our own problems. Even if it means that we'll put up with it, we don't want your interference.
But it goes back to the thing, why stay there if there's a monster? I know I've just seen
that.
They had a cast of 25.
You can ask it of any situation.
and most of them were on the committee for the coroner, weren't they? Loads of people.
And the mob.
Yeah.
The polite mob that doesn't cover their faces.
Yeah.
I just love the way the mob arrives to put them out of the cottage. And the police just walk through them and they just, oh, all right, the police is here. They still got the burning torches and everything. Not a word.
Yeah, they beat him up, and then the coppers turn up, and then the coppers don't go, "Who beat you up? Right, we're going to get them and arrest them." They, yeah, just get out of the bloody village. We don't want you here.
Yeah, we'll help you to the train station. That's about it.
Yeah.
But we're only a small police force. There's not much we can do, as in, we're not going to do anything. You're outsiders. You know, it's that whole, I think that was more the horror story of how villages like that operate, as opposed to the Gorgon itself.
Yeah. Yeah, it's no. And then of course you had the coppers. They come in and said, "Oh, we've got to talk to." Well, first it was the girl, wasn't it? And they went out, but then they come back and says, "Oh, we want to speak to Paul." And Christopher Lee says, "Hold on." Goes up. Yeah, he's not here. Okay, we'll take your word for it that he's not there. You know, pretty efficient coppers they were, weren't it?
Yeah, but I think they were terrified of his character, because when he came in, he's like, "Well, you've even got superiors. Funny enough, your superiors happen to be some of my friends. I'll happily go and have a chat with them. You know, if you want to play that game, I'm not going to disappear like the rest. Your move."
Yeah.
I like this character just because he did step back enough to let Paul. He could have easily taken over and Paul been put to the sidelines, but he didn't.
Yeah, because he, like I say, he just turned up and went, "Where have you been?" more or less. And oh right, and Paul says, "Yeah, no." I mean, Christopher Lee. It goes back to saying, doesn't it, that it's the old style of acting that you don't get these days.
Oh God, no! It's not even acting now. They just warble at the screen, and it's just not pleasant to watch at all.
Yeah.
No, I appreciate that they're actually trying to, tell a story, but the fact those two, it could have easily devolved, and if it had been another director, I think this could have devolved into a cash grab of, well, let's put Peter Cushing and Christopher Lee back on the screen again and have them butt heads. But they didn't. They sort of skirted around each other, and the bit where Christopher Lee's character's in the asylum bit, looking at the records and hiding, from Peter Cushing's character, and it was just like, are they going to meet? Are they not going to meet? And you almost got the feeling that they could go the entire movie without actually directly interacting.
Yeah,
I thought that was clever from a fan perspective,
because you also got the feeling that the two main actors, they would have said, no, they wouldn't have said it that way. They would have said it this way, and slightly changed the script. And Terence Fisher, I mean, he's, like we said, he's a very, very talented and old school director, and you could just imagine him working with the actors as opposed to directing them, just saying, "You will do this." You could just see him saying, more or less, "Oh, what do you think about that? What do you think about that?" So, yeah.
That was funny because Ridley Scott has been panned lately. No way they're trying to put him. He's trying to put himself back up on a pedestal again.
Yeah.
Like, guy's pushing 80 or he's past 80 and it's like, go away. But even this latest movie there that came out, his own people have worked for him for years went, this guy's a tit. He won't listen. He just up his own backside, and I hate working with him. That would never have been said, back then or none of that. But these people are just coming straight after the movie, knowing that they're probably tanking their careers or never, because that guy for some reason is still powerful in Hollywood.
Yeah.
But they're just coming out and saying, nah, this guy's horrendous to work with. It's horrible. Hated it.
Yeah. Because
that's not even the actors, that's the behind the scenes guys.
He produced Gladiator 2, didn't he? He didn't actually direct it. Produced it. So.
Still.
You could just imagine
Apparently just
the,
horrendous
the
to work with.
director being there trying to do something and him being there as well, going, "I'm the producer. You will do it." This.
Oh, that, you saw it during Alien Romulus. Like when I did
Mm,
the review of Alien Romulus, you see Ridley Scott's been poking at him, poking at the director, Fede Alvarez. You could just see it all over the movie that he's sticking his beak in. But you
yeah,
don't see that here. You actually see, you get this idea of collaboration. Like, my only bugbear is why they changed the Greek lore.
yeah,
I don't understand why they did that when the lore's fascinating enough and they don't need to change it. And it could have been one of the other sisters, could have been Uriel or Theno easily. Didn't have to be Megara, who wasn't a Gorgon, she was a Fury. Like, it just annoys me. It's like, that's something really easy that a thicko
yeah,
like me can pick up on. You know,
yeah.
why aren't the clever people
And
sorting
then
this out?
if most people were like me, and they wouldn't have realised it.
Yeah, but the writers did the research.
Yeah.
Didn't they go and pick up a book, or did they think they were too clever and knew it all?
Perhaps they thought the other three weren't good enough. Yeah. As they thought, Medusa. No.
We got a feeling, even if you've never seen this before, when Carla appears, that she's a major character in this. Like, she just had that main character energy about her from the start.
Yeah. Because you're led to believe that when he says, "Oh, it's taken human form," you're made to believe that it's the mad woman that bites everyone at the beginning, isn't it?
But no, we knew that was a misdirect.
The mad woman who they've just put in a straitjacket is the Gorgon, and of course it's not. It's
I think when she met Paul and they instantly fell in love,
yeah,
that, like, even in the scheme of the script, they'd only met for 5 minutes. Like, he met her once and ended up in the hospital bed.
yeah.
It reminds me of the nurse out of American Werewolf in London. Like, she's treating, going, "I'm having some of that. Come back to my place afterwards," sort of thing.
Yeah.
Nurse Trent, wasn't it?
Yeah. But even then, if you notice that we've seen it before in the Hammer horror films, you always get the token slapper, don't you? When she's Ali's brother, she might as well have him as well.
No, that wasn't her, though. That wasn't her. No, Carla, that's the...
You're talking about Carla?
Yeah.
Oh, no, I get you, yeah. But, yeah.
I think when you knew and you saw them instantly fall in love, you're like, this is going to be a tragedy. This is not going well. She's the Gorgon and the mad woman's a misdirect. But
yeah,
what I don't get is how, because that's the whole thing, that Peter Cushing's character's covering all this up because of his infatuation with her. And it's almost like they're mixing the lore between a Gorgon, a siren, and a werewolf. That, because now she only comes out in a full moon, and that happens, and you're like,
Is that actually how it happens in the Greek myth then? With
no, because basically what they're saying is the spirit of Megara. It's not Megara herself, even though Megara isn't a Gorgon. Megara's a Fury, but hey ho. Yeah, that's still annoying me. Anyway, the Gorgon is not, but it wouldn't be the spirit, because the Gorgon sisters that were left alive were immortal. It was Medusa who was mortal and could be killed. The other two couldn't.
Yeah.
And they chased Perseus. They obviously he got away because of the winged sandals and Pegasus, but they then did it back then. Obviously, they didn't follow him to Athens or whatever else. They lamented forever, but their story never really continued that makes sense.
Mm.
But it could just easily be one of them. I just don't understand the need for that. I could understand the spirit or taking over, or after so many centuries taking human form. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Or trying to, maybe the Gorgon wanted to take human form, and then Carla could have been the target.
Mm.
That would have made more sense. And Paul had
Yeah.
to save her from the Gorgon.
Mm. Yeah.
Like I said, it's the only bit of the story that they've, I don't know, kind of played with a bit too much and made it a bit overcomplicated.
Yeah. Yeah, but well, the Greek bit, like I said, if you didn't know about it, I didn't see it. I didn't know about it. So, but
But
then
is that not the point of? Is that not the point of adapting old lore? Is to encourage people to go and read it and look it up?
well, you'd think so, wouldn't you?
Is that not the point?
It
That's why
would,
you don't get.
it would be like
When was it?
there being a fighter jet in a World War II film, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
If you don't realize that fighter jets weren't made back then, it was.
yeah. It was only the V rocket was the precursor, which wasn't until 1943 they were being developed right at the last minute, and the first fighter jet wasn't until 1951, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a whole new era. Was it off the back of the First World War Second World War into the Cold War? But yeah, just that whole thing with Carla, I think they could have handled it a bit better. I know they're trying to make a mystery, but just have the Gorgon as an entity and Carla being drawn to it or something.
Yeah.
Like they've done before, with Dracula, they could just redo a Dracula plot. I just found it a wee bit jarring. That's my only real complaint about the movie, because otherwise it's well acted. It was fun. Even the rubber mask in the autopsy when the mad woman dies. What the hell is Ratkin's deal?
He cut one side, didn't he? And then he went round the other side of the table and cut the other side. Why he just couldn't go poof like that?
I don't know, but the rubber mask, like you could just tell it was rubber.
Yeah.
And I think they were meant to show you cutting into it, but obviously they cut it away for the theatrical release. That still looks better than like today's CGI. That still looks better than digital blood.
Yeah. Oh, anything looks better than CGI. I hate CGI.
Oh, it's awful. Like, I'm looking at these old movies and going, why do they look better?
Yeah.
Apart from the plaster Paris arm, which was molded out of a marigold, that's the only complaint I have with the effects in this and the snakes at the end.
A lot of the films that are CGI, they just haven't got animals right.
No, God.
They just can't get it. I mean, yes, the Jurassic Park films had the dinosaurs pretty spot on.
But they used animatronics as well.
Yeah.
They used the combination of, they only used CGI to layer over the animatronics.
Yeah. But the animals, if you take Jumanji, for instance, the animals in that, I mean, the rhinoceros, I think it was, or something like that. And
cartoonish.
They just can't get it right.
What was that silly Arnold Schwarzenegger one with the alligator? The alligator's jumping, he shoots it, and it looks horrible.
Don't know.
Even in the trailer, like I did not go to the cinema because of that trailer. Because when I saw the alligator, I'm like, no.
We actually watched an Australian film. What was it called? The Flood. It was called, and they actually used proper footage of sharks as opposed to CGI. So more or less, you didn't actually see anyone get eaten by the shark, but they actually used real life footage of the shark coming up to a person. And it was brilliant. I thought, it's a really, spot on. I mean, it wasn't much of a story because it was Australian, but I just not the Australians, am I? But I mean, the thing was,
In fairness, Australia did produce Wormwood, Road of the Dead, which is one of my favorite zombie movies.
Right.
It's just
Yeah.
daft, and I loved it. And it's just typically Australian, and I'll not have anybody say anything bad about it because it's just pure comedy gold.
But it's really well done, because I thought, hey, we haven't got these like sharks going like this, jumping out, 40 meters out of the water to kill someone who's up on the roof or something.
And flipping and spinning and doing weird things and not even using their own natural body movement. It winds me up. Another thing I hate with CGI is, do you know the trope? I think I did it first in Blade 2. You got somebody up against the wall and they're skittering and moving around, and then they disappear, and it looks horrible. And they use that. It's always an old woman as well. The old woman jumps in the ceiling.
Yeah.
And moves about the place, and it looks horrible.
Yeah.
I think it did one of the dopey Batman movies. Didn't it do one of him with Ben Affleck? And he did this weird thing where he's up a wall and then he spins, and you're like, what the hell is that?
Yeah.
Stupid.
I didn't like Ben Affleck as Batman. It's awful.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. There's example of modern techniques that really takes you out of the movie because it looks so fake. Here we'll have a rubber mask, and honestly, it's a rubber mask. But
we got a fan here. English 60s, 70s horror and English 70s punk rock are two of my favourite things in the world.
Calvin on. How are you, man?
Mine too.
Yeah, it's interesting because this is the first. The Hammer horror movies have went a bit wobbly the last couple of ones.
Yeah.
But it's the combination of Terence Fisher as a director, Christopher Lee and Peter Cushing in the movie, that it's a golden triangle. It just it's what makes these good, because there have been some proper stinkers.
And some you mustn't forget the classic supporting actors. Barbara Shelley, who's been in Hammer Horror, Patrick Troughton, who's been in Hammer Horror. There's some good supporting actors there in this one.
Yep. But we'll have to talk as well about Ratoff. He's like a Bond villain, isn't he? Like Odd Job or something.
Yeah.
He's like the orderly come assassin.
Yeah. Go and do this.
Peter Cushing just sends out a missions. Go take care of that, would you? Yes. Big, huge bowie knife sort of problem.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah. Where did he get that from?
Yeah. He finds the crazy woman who got out, and he's like, she died, did she? Yes, she just had enough energy to spit in my face.
Yeah.
Before she passed. You're like, yeah, I don't think it was an accident.
I thought I might use that line.
It's like, yeah, that's how she met her demise. He was a thug.
Yeah. He's just like
a proper thug in this.
Thug for hire, wasn't he? He was, if there was a job to be done, you got him.
Yeah. But how many times did he try to capture Paul?
Yeah, he wasn't very successful thug, was he?
Yeah.
I'm just trying to see what he's known for. He's a lot of TV acting. He's actually got quite a lot of TV acting. He's quite a that one who played
Ratoff.
Yeah, it's very, very sort of wanted, like a B actor, a jobber, But he's been in absolutely loads.
But that was the thing, There was the B actors, but they always got plenty of work. And they were used, and that's one thing that Hammer Studios I think did well, is they utilized the B actors. To blend out the movie. It wasn't like, look at the 80s. I think the 80s is where the sort of movie star sort of rose and fell at the same time, where it just had to be the big star and everything else was just to the background. And nobody else got a moment, where you can see everyone sort of getting their moment in this, and even Radhoff, you got an idea of what he was as a character, even though he was a henchman basically, but
Yeah,
he still had enough chance to be menacing.
yeah. Because he came across as someone who was loyal
Mm-hmm.
and would have done what he was told, more or less, for his boss.
And prepared to do anything, which would seem he literally was.
Yeah,
But the scene where he tries to capture Carla again,
yeah,
and they sort of chase them off, but they didn't follow through. Like, did he run away, or did there's no reason Paul and the professor was going to take him out? Like, he was a big fella,
yeah.
so how are they able to chase him off? Like, he really should have took the both out. Like, Paul was a
He
wee,
could have got both of them, couldn't he?
yeah. Paul was nothing
Banged
in
heads
this.
together.
So that was
Yeah.
a strange one. And I saw a shadow, and I thought he was tied to a chair or something, but it wasn't. Didn't pay off that way. I'm like, okay. And then when he goes, the the doctor goes, "Oh, by the way, return Radoff's knife to him. He doesn't.
Yeah.
He missed."
Yeah. Yeah.
There's that sort of Queensberry rules type.
Yeah. Tell him to try again.
Yeah, just aim a bit more to the left this time. But Paul's character towards the end really falls off. He just starts acting like a child.
Hmm.
He wouldn't listen to anybody. He's going to find Carla himself, blah, blah, blah. And you're like,
Yeah.
are you not joining the dots here?
Yeah. But he was, well, he just got out of his hospital bed, wasn't he? And yeah, I've been ill. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, fair enough. But he just wasn't. His character kind of, like I said, he's there to basically get justice for his brother and his father.
Hmm.
His father wanting to obviously clear his brother's name because he's just being made a scapegoat, and then the fact that in 2 days he lost his entire family, so to speak. But he's still trying to fall in love in the instant and then act like a teenager who's,
Yeah.
hormones are up the left.
Yeah. And he isn't really that upset when the head gets chopped off at the end,
No,
anybody
he
else.
he kind of got over it, didn't he?
Yeah, it's like, oh, her head's been chopped off. Okay.
I suppose
Bye
he was too
then.
busy. He was too busy turning to stone anyway. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
like I said, we get Peter Cushing, and he goes up against Paul, and yeah, you could just see the stunt double.
Yeah. No moustache. That was one of the situations
Yeah.
where there was no
Oh yeah, when
moustache.
he's on the ground, sort of going back, you
Yeah.
could
Yeah.
Peter Cushing cannot fight to save his life. He can't even
Oh,
act. He's such a
it's that,
presence about him. It's strange. He's such a presence. He's so stoic, and he can morph into any sort of character, as we've seen, not just through Hammer
yeah.
Horror, but through the Amicus stuff we looked at. But when it comes to the physicality, of a fight, he's like a paper, bit of straw flapping about.
Yeah.
It's very strange. He just can't get it.
It would have been much easier if the director had said to him, if it was done, because in one of the Indiana Jones films, it was said that one day Harrison Ford didn't want to fight, so the director said to him, "Well, just shoot him then."
No, it
And
was
that's when
he had the squirts.
was it?
He had a bit of Delhi belly. They were in Egypt, and he had
Yeah,
a bit of a rumbly tumbly. So he couldn't do this fight scene with the swordsman. So he just asked the director, "Can I just shoot him?"
yeah. So he
Because
did.
yeah, he basically had about 5 seconds before needing to go to the pot to having to be on the pot, sort of thing.
Yeah, right. I know it was something like that. But it would have been better for Peter Cushing to do that. I can't fight. Okay, shoot him then.
Yeah,
Okay. But I can imagine him with a proper gun and getting the recoil, shooting someone upstairs or something.
like if you see pictures of Peter Cushing in later days, he went proper frail.
Yeah,
Because him and Christopher Lee maintained a friendship
yeah.
right up to the end, and obviously Peter Cushing went first.
Hmm.
But Christopher Lee still managed to maintain his stature, even
Yeah.
in like up to his 90s.
Even in the Lord of the Rings,
yeah, but
he was haunting in that. He was, you know, he's quite a.
Yeah, but there's one of the last pictures of them together, and Peter Cushing is just skin and bone.
Yeah.
Like, he was never a big man. He was always a sort of frail thing.
Yeah. Well, you think he was in one of the Star Wars films as well, wasn't he? The first Star Wars film, I think it was. And you can shoot when ready. No,
Good.
Carrie Fisher.
Am I ever going to escape from that franchise?
Well, Star Wars.
You just can't leave it alone, can you? It's like a specter that keeps haunting. It's like, let it go. Let it go.
Colin, I am your father.
All right.
Chris. You like Chris? Peter Cushing. Yeah.
He'll get his rank wrong, and I'll have to correct him. Yeah. But then we see the reveal of Medusa. They use a different actress for not Medusa, friggin' the Gorgon. God. I'm not calling her Megara. It's not Megara. But the Gorgon anyway. They use a different actress, which is fair enough, because there's nothing worse as well than seeing the same actress in costume and giving it away. So Lisa did that. But when it came to her close-up shot at the end, it was awful.
Yeah, you could tell
that was the worst part.
It's like a shop dummy, wasn't it?
A shop dummy covered in wax or something, whatever they did. But and the snake heads retracting in, like, they looked terrible.
Yeah, it was in the blood on the neck was like, you could tell it was painted on. Yeah, and it was paint color. They must have had just that supply of red paint. There was only probably one color of red that was available in the 60s. You know, post office red, wasn't it? A Royal Mail red. I just read here to the Empire for the first time. I didn't know you could read in America, Chris. Well, it was picture books, was it?
Good, I had all that books. Yeah, doesn't matter. It's dead. It's gone. Finished. Let it go. It's a problem when you put your entire identity into a corporate franchise. Yeah, but they made it a proper Greek tragedy anyway, ending. So there's a bit of a homage to that. Nobody really won.
No.
Because Paul gazed onto the Gorgon. He was starting to feel the effects.
Yeah.
Christopher Lee's character used the advantage to sneak up behind her and lop her head off.
Yeah.
And then that was it, you know, and basically as Paul's turning to stone, he's just like, it's okay, relax, she's at peace now. But it doesn't help him out. He's about to turn to stone.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, right. And that was it, you know, just...
I met
what happened to Peter Cushing's character? I forgot. Did he get knocked out or something? I don't think he got killed.
No, he didn't get killed, did he? He was...
God, I only watched it this afternoon too. I've completely forgotten what happened to his character.
He had a fight, didn't he?
Yes, he had a fight with Paul.
It's got me now.
It's almost like he became a bit character and just disappeared for the final scene.
Yeah. Can't you get it up? Have a look.
I'm going to now.
No, I was only joking, Chris. Audible. I don't
Namor, he was waiting. He was the one who was going to cut her head off.
Chris Lee cut her head off.
Oh, he did. Oh, he got turned to stone. He did. Yeah, Namor, he got turned to stone. I missed that bit. He wanted to go and take her out.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, completely missed that because of the bit at the... do you know what it was? It was the terrible And that's I could forgive the other stuff, but the actual reveal in the head coming off, that model was awful. And it just distracted me, I think.
Yeah.
There you go. All in all, still a good one. It's good to get back to classic Hammer
I,
again.
it's just like I said, the opening music said it all. But because the opening music was frightening in itself, it set the tone, and then when it come up, Terence Fisher, you think, oh, thank God for that.
Yeah, we're
So,
back to.
I've always liked the Gorgon. I've seen it. I saw it years ago, and I've seen it a few times now. And it was one of those, like I said to you, my mum used to let me stay up in the 70s to watch on BBC Two the Hammer horror triple bill, and or double bill, sometimes triple, sometimes, and the Gorgon was always one of my favourites. But I mean, some of them just weren't worth seeing, and I used to fall asleep. But,
Yeah, but that's we're not looking at this through rose-tinted glasses. That's the thing about looking at this franchise, because it's easy to go, oh, things were so much better back in the day, but we'll say that the studios are just as fallible back then as they
yeah,
are now. I think the only difference is that there wasn't as much mud slung around.
no,
Or if you notice now, they're like petulant children and they instantly go and point fingers. Like, they've destroyed movies because they can't shut their mouths.
but
Especially actors and actresses getting on social media have actually, and directors. That Dungeons and Dragons one, the
yeah,
director went and started gobbing off, and he actually tanked the movie by winding people up. And what he said was going to be in the movie was nothing at all was in the movie. The movie was actually good, but it failed at the box office because he couldn't keep his mouth shut. He thought he was going to fan bait, and wind fans up. And you're like, why do you do that? That's crazy.
you don't hear many actors these days, lesser known actors say, "Oh, it was a pleasure working with the main actor."
No, and you never hear an actor say today, I
I
hope you
think
enjoy this movie.
the only one that's an exception to the rule is Keanu Reeves.
Mm.
He's supposed to be so down to earth that he catches the London tube around, not London, New York tube around, doesn't he? And he'll go in, and someone will be at the checkout, and he'll pay for their shopping and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But you don't get many sort of, like you saying, "Oh yeah, it was a pleasure working with Tom Cruise or whoever."
They're not
But
even saying,
you,
well, really hope
you
you enjoy this movie.
used to get a lot back in the 70s who said, "Oh yeah, I worked with Chris Lee, Peter Cushing. Oh, what a pleasure to work with them."
No, today they're complete egomaniacs, and that's what ruins it.
Yeah,
That's why I love like the Calvin stuff and indie productions. That's why I like that, because at least you got a sense. It's an old school sense of people coming together, just wanting to do a good job. If that makes sense. I miss that about movies, and
yeah,
that's why it's a pleasure to look back at these as well, because you get that sort of professional acting troupe just wanting to do a good job and wanting to tell a story.
yeah.
And like I said, it's something that's completely missing. That's why people are burnt out now with entertainment. Yeah, that's why people, it's a chore to go to the cinema now. Because people think, I'm going to spend all this money, I'm going to travel there and spend this time for something I'm not going to enjoy. And there's no hype really for it. The marketing department spoiled the movie as well in the trailer. They show all the good bits now and spoil the plot in the trailer, so there's no surprises.
Yeah, you
The
always know what's
actors,
going to happen, don't you?
the actors don't have a good word to say. They're all bitter, spiteful people.
Yeah.
And it comes across so instantly
As long as they're getting paid, they don't care
they
these
don't
days.
give a shit whether it succeeds or fails. They're like, I'm sorted and screw you, I'm better than you. The directors are coming out trying to start controversy and bait the fans. That idiot David Gordon Green tanked the Exorcist franchise, just by being an idiot. The guy that did that Dungeons and Dragons movie couldn't help himself. Like, loads of stuff like that goes on, and you're just like, why?
Yeah.
What part of that's like somebody coming into your store, your shop, and you're going, "You're an arsehole, I hate you, and you don't want to buy this. In fact, go to the competition," and doing that for every customer.
Mm.
It's mental. You'd be closed in a week.
Yeah.
I just don't get that behavior.
Yeah. Because you 60s and 70s, you just, they were there to do a film. And yes, you still had your share of flops.
Yeah, which we have covered as well, and we haven't been behind the door.
PJ,
That's what.
it's like I said to you about, Disney tried to outdo Star Wars because Star Wars was such a big success. Disney thought, how can we combat this? I know, let's do this, the black hole.
Mm-hmm.
And the black hole was a complete flop. It didn't really have a story. There's a ship heading towards the black hole and run by a madman who, for some reason, had built hundreds of these robots, but they had no purpose because there weren't any crew on there. So,
yeah, just
shiny,
flashy stuff. But that's what happened. And then obviously we've got the reoccurring sequels of the 80s that just turn it out. And it just became a fast food factory.
Yeah.
And now it's the civil service. It's even worse. I've always compared Hollywood to a fast food factory, but now it's worse. It's the civil service.
Yeah.
They're going through the motions. They've no interest in the end product as long as they follow their processes and their corporate masters. And they just exist. They don't even have the entrepreneurship of a fast food restaurant, which isn't really, high quality, but it works. They don't even want to be that. It's crazy. But anyway, we have Nightmare up next in this series.
Which one?
Nightmare. A young woman is plagued by nightmares of her asylum patient mother. Upon returning to her family home, the nightmares become real when she sees a strange woman pacing the halls. And it looks like we're going back to black and white.
I can just see that's going to be a nightmare to review, isn't it?
No, wah. And that's really, there should be a wah.
Yeah. Nightmare.
Yeah. Directed by Freddie Francis. Where have we seen him
before? He's another one, and he's done a couple of good ones, but then the last one was pretty naff, wasn't
it? The Elephant Man.
Yeah.
He did Glory in 1989. Done Tales from the Crypt. Devils, Sherlock Holmes, Golden Rendezvous. Trying to see something. Legend of the Werewolf, 1975. The Adventures of Black Beauty. That's good. That's a bit of a departure from Werewolf. Son of Dracula. That's.
I used to be a werewolf, but I'm all right. No.
Oh God. The Torture Garden.
Yeah.
We covered that, one of the Amicus ones. He did Dr. Tara's House of Horrors as well. The Evil of Frankenstein. Well, there you go. There's the.
Yeah, that's the one we panned a bit.
Yeah.
That was that one. Yeah.
Day of the Triffids, the original. That wasn't bad. He's hitting. You can just he's hit and miss. Yeah, he is so hit and miss.
Where Terence Fisher has had more hits than misses.
Yeah, but he's done more TV work than movie work. Yeah. Oh well, it'd be interesting to look at.
There he goes with Nightmare.
Yep.
If it's rubbish, I won't lose any sleep over it.
Oh God! Right before the audience gets nightmares of these terrible jokes.
No, the doctor told me the other day because I went and I says, I'm suffering from insomnia. He says, are you? I says, yeah. I says, but look on the bright side. There's only 3 sleeps till Christmas.
Oh God! Right. On that note, thanks everyone for turning up.
The new book is slightly late because I went on holiday too.
Yeah, because you said November.
Africa. I know. I went on holiday for 2 weeks, then I to Africa. So it's But there's been a few changes in any case. It's due out next week.
Cool. And submissions
The
closed
Ladies of the
yesterday.
Night. It's about a madman who's killing prostitutes in Plymouth. Yeah. I mean, we'd all like to kill. No, maybe we wouldn't. I get done on Facebook for that.
Yeah, you're in enough trouble.
Oh God, yeah.
Well. And submissions closed yesterday for Horrific Tales Volume 1. So be going through those, and those that were successful will be getting their emails this week and get all that sorted out. I look forward to that in the new year. So plenty going on as always. So until next time, keep updated with the channel, do the type of things.
And Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas.
Yeah. Well, we'll be back before then with another one.
Will
I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure we will.
Yeah.
Like somebody started December, calm down. Mariah Carey's only just defrosted.
Chris, many a true word. I used to live in the street around the corner from the Plymouth prostitutes, and the Plymouth prostitutes, world renowned from the Royal Navy, because that's what they used to do when they used to come into dock at Denport Dockyard. So so I lived close by. But, you used to get asked all the time, did you want business? And I used to say, not really, I've got two of my own.
Right. On that happy note, until next time, keep it creepy and keep it horrific.